Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Harpriya Bains, and I'm a mother of 4, like I introduce myself at my comic shows. 1 dog, 2 daughters, and a husband. I thought let me begin with the same introduction. Age is a number that you can toss in the bin. Mrs. Funnybones Twinkle Khanna said that recently after she graduated at the age of 50, and I couldn't agree more. Yet, age is a number that I think tosses us in the bins, or maybe tins or boxes. You know, we all have this preconditioned notions about age. We've always had, right? Ki 20s mein, up to the 20s, you're allowed to, learn, make mistakes, take risks in life. 30s, 40s mein jaake chalo, shaadi kar lo, bacche kar lo, ghar banao, settle down. 40s, 50s, maybe time to introspect, look back, thinking about settling your children, what you're going to do. 60s, 70s, get your children married, become grandparents, nannies become nannies, right? 80s, 90s, okay, chalo, budhapa aa gaya, घुटनों की सर्जरी करा लो, दवाइयाँ खा लो, और 90s तक अगर जी गए तो very good bonus time, और नहीं तो perfect age to die, right? So yes, so age, I think, why do we have these preconditioned notions about age? And we all, whether we follow them or don't follow them, but subconsciously, our whole life is revolved around them. Right? We are told that some things are, the right age to do it, the right age to do it. And we sometimes plunge into it just because we are told by the society it's the right age, even if we are not ready for it or we don't even want to do it, right? So many such things happened with us because age का एक pocket है जो हमें बचपन से सुनाया गया कि इस उम्र में अब ये करो. Some of us, while we may think, let me break away, I will do something, whatever I want at whatever I age, but then we are questioned by the society. We are questioned कि अरे, is this really the right age for you to do this? अब तुम्हारी उम्र नहीं होगी, ये क्या सोचा तुमने, right? So when I started, comedy at the age of about 40, and when I started out, I did not even think about whether it was the right age for me. It did not even strike me once because I didn't know that sense of humor came with an age limit, But मैंने शुरू करा comedy, लेकिन yeah. कॉमेडी में भी मुझे ऐसे ही कुछ जैसे यंगस्टर्स पीछे बैठे हैं, ऐसे किसी यंगस्टर ने अक्सर मेरे कमेंट सेक्शन में कोई यंगस्टर लिख देता है कि अरे लो कर लो बात, मम्मियां भी कॉमेडी करेंगी. तो मेरा बस एक ही जवाब होता है उनको कि बेटा क्या करें, तुम जैसों को पैदा करके ट्रेजेडी तो हमने करी ली है. तो यस, I am like, nobody told me, कि age, you can't, start comedy at this age. I was like, oh, I didn't know that I'm too old to joke. So today I want to talk about this perspective, about age. Why? Why do we have to think about what to do at the right time or what to do at the right age? So today I'm going to share 3 such instances from my life, 3 life lessons that I learned at different ages of my life and which taught me that age is indeed a number that you can actually kind of forget sometimes. You don't need to remember it all the time. So I'm going to share 3 such stories. 1, my mother. I was 19 when my mother was diagnosed with cancer. She was 43 years old. Now, I don't need to tell you that what a mother means to all of us. She's the rock solid. No matter how much we ignore her, we may not listen to her, we may, take her for granted, but we cannot live without her. We cannot. We live in her cocoon, in fact. And the day, as a teenager, if you learn that your mother, your cocoon is now going to be lifted away from you, it kind of just leaves you alone. You feel like this lost child on an island where nobody is going to come to rescue you because so far your mother has been rescuing you, guiding you through different aspects of your life. Whether it was problems at school, whether you felt sick, whether you had problems with your friends, or even for taking out lice from your hair. It's your mother who's always guided you, protected you, and always showed you the right path. And at 19, when I learned that my mother may soon die, I was not just scared about what path am I going to choose, or who's going to show me the path. I was just thinking, how will I even find myself? Second, I was 22 when due to a family dispute, my father lost all that he had. His home, his property, his assets, and most of all, his pride. He was 54 years old. And at that moment, when you retired, he had just retired from a distinguished service in the army for 40 years, and he was also awarded a Vishis Seva medal. And when you retire, You think that ab to meri life chill hai, I'm going to relax, I'm going to enjoy my life. At that moment when life suddenly throws you back at the start like a game of snakes and ladders, it shatters you. It completely shatters you. You know, a father is your protector, he's your provider. And most of all, he's the roof on your head. And when that roof begins to crumble, you begin to crumble and you begin to get, feel completely scared, because when you see your father shattered, scared, and extremely, he's lost, he's suddenly feeling where I'm going to start life again. आप अपने पापा को टूटते हुए देखते हो तो आप सोचते हो कि अगर मेरे पापा टूट सकते हैं तो मैं क्या चीज हूं. 3. I was 30 years old when I lost a very, very dear friend of mine. He was 29. I had seen death before. You see your grandparents die, but when your grandparents die, you think कि चलो उनकी उम्र हो गई थी, it was time, they had to go, they've lived their life, it's only fair, जिंदगी में यही होता है. But when you see your friend die, your peer die, somebody you have grown up with, somebody, जिसके साथ आपने कॉलेज में गप्पे मारी हैं, आपने कैंटीन में गाने गाए हैं, आपने जिंदगी के सपने देखे हैं, when you see that person die at the age of 29, it's unfair, it's ruthless, it's unacceptable, because nobody told you that this is going to happen. Nobody told you that you could die at 29. You almost feel Bhagwan cheating kar rahe hain, ye to out of syllabus hai. 29 is not the age to die, it's the age to begin your life. And that's when it hit me that we are not immortal. We may think, we know that we are not immortal, but we don't really believe it. We live in denial. Hame lagta hai we are going to live forever. And that day I realized that life can end before you even think about it. Like Osho said, he said that many dreams are dreamt, many hopes are pinned on the rainbow of desires, but when death knocks on your door, everything crumbles like a pack of cards. But the beauty about life is that it does turn around. It turns around. Even if I saw life putting us in dark spots, I also saw in the same life turn around for us in the most beautiful way and giving it all back to us in abundance. All these cliche quotes that we've heard, there's a silver lining behind the clouds, the sun does shine again, zindagi mein sab badal jata hai, sab theek hota hai, are all true because it does happen. And I did see life come back to normal in all these situations in my life. And I'm going to share that also with you. 1, thanks to the timely diagnosis of my mother's cancer, and thanks to all the modern science and the great treatment and her fierce spirit to survive, she is all hale and hearty and 70 years old now, and continuing to nag me for all the crazy things I do in my life. But something changed about her after that day. Something changed about her after her illness. As mothers, we take ourselves extremely lightly. We are our own last priority. We are so busy sacrificing our lives for our children, for our husbands, for our families, that sometimes we land up sacrificing our own mental and physical health. And we realize sometimes it can be too late. It can have serious effects on you. And that is what I saw change in my mother. She began to give herself her priority, not just for her physical health, even for mental health. She started to find time for things that she loved to do, things that she enjoyed to do, whether it was, going for a movie, reading, meeting her friends. But she began to give herself priority because she realized that only if she was happy and healthy, will her family be happy and healthy. Or maybe she saw the fear in the eyes of my father and my brother and me, and she was like, oh my God, inka mere bagair kuch nahi ho sakta. I better get okay for them. But yes, life did turn around. And that is the legacy that she has passed on to me rather. That is her legacy that she has passed on to me, which I have learned that only if I am happy and healthy will I radiate good health and happiness to my loved ones. She taught me that it's not just that I have to live the life of a wife and a mother and a daughter, but also the life of Harpriya. Because I also have only one life. My time to enjoy, to have a good time is also now. From my mother, I learned that you can be too young to get serious health issues, but you can never be too old to take your health seriously and heal yourself with love and happiness and giving yourself a priority. My father, well, life did take a complete U-turn for him. He had to uproot himself from his hometown, which he loved, and go to another city, start life from scratch, and The Iron Man that he is, he did build a roof on our heads again, and life soon got back to normal as if nothing had happened. But amidst all the chaos in the family, the court cases, settling us, getting my brother and me married, looking after all the family responsibilities, he was also nurturing a dream. My father happens to be a handicap 4 polo player, international polo player, and he has played for the country for 30 years. He has also served with many distinguished polo players of the country. He has been honored by the army for the same. My father, his dream was to always, to go to the Olympics, but now age had caught up and he couldn't obviously participate in the Olympics, but then he was secretly nurturing another dream. He decided to go to the Olympics as a volunteer official. He started his extensive research. He found out how to go there. He reached out to the Rio Olympics team. He filled out the forms. He applied online for online interviews and registration. After 3 rounds of rigorous online interviews, he was finally selected for a volunteer official in the equestrian sports of the 2016 Rio Olympics. Ladies and gentlemen, at the age of 73, my father went on to live in an unknown country where he could speak the language. He had barely learned how to use credit cards, but he went on to have a great time with a sporting event, attending a sporting event that he loved truly. And his love for the sport is so much that I think sometimes my brother and me, we think that his love for horses is probably more than his love for us. But yes, he went on to live there. He had the time of his life. He earned a lot of respect because he was one of the senior most volunteer officials over there in the Olympics. And also, he got a lot of fanfare. A lot of people started clicking pictures with him, thinking he was a cousin of Maharaja Patiala, the tall, handsome, 6 feet 2 inches Khalsa that he is. But for him, he was just a man from his village who, despite life taking it all away from him, nurtured his dream and single-handedly made it come true at the age of 73. Ladies and gentlemen, from my father, I learned that you can be too young to lose it all in life, but you can never be too old to get it all back and dream for even more. Well, the third, my friend, of course, did not come back. But what I saw was life come back in the lives of those he had left behind, his wife and his 1-year-old child. His wife also happens to be my very, very dear friend, like you call it, bestie, since the last 27 years. Life had turned for them overnight. It had changed. Everything had changed. She had all the reasons, my friend had all the reasons to, live a life of misery and, blame it on fate and be completely sad and give it all up and live be dependent on others for the rest of her life and just die a living death. But she did not choose that. She chose life. She chose to live and not just be alive, but to live life in all its glory. She chose to live a life of dignity, a life of abundance, a life of joy and laughter, not just for herself, but also for her son. She excelled in whatever job and appointment she held. She is fulfilling the responsibilities of a great mother, a single mother, as well as the responsibilities of a daughter, being the only child of her retired parents. And she may be going through all the struggles and everything of life. Don't all of us go through struggles of life? We all do. But that's not what identifies her. That's not what defines her. What defines her is her zest for life. She's happy, she's successful, she's healthy, she reads, she travels, she goes for holidays, she buys her own diamonds, she buys her own cars, and she is completely living a joyful life. And that is a beautiful legacy that she has built herself single-handedly, no matter what life threw at her. From my friends, I learned that you can be too young to die, but you can never be too old to live. So I have learned, ladies and gentlemen, that age indeed is just a number that you can kind of forget like any other number on your mobile phone these days. You can refer to it once in a while, for Aadhaar card renewal or your medical insurance renewal. I think that's about it. Let it not define you. Let it excite you. Let age excite you like it excites us on our birthdays, isn't it? Because age is, not about the wrinkles on your face or the grays in your hair. It's about the wonder in your eyes and the excitement in your heart. It's not about how old you're looking, but it's about how young you're feeling. Age is not about the fear of death, but it's about living every moment and loving every moment of whatever age is left. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to conclude with a few lines that I wrote for myself, but I do hope that you can resonate with it too. काले बालों में छिपी चांदनी को अब चमकने भी दे, काले बालों में छिपी चांदनी को अब चमकने भी दे, चेहरे की झुर्रियों के पीछे छिपी दास्तान को अब जुबान से छलकने भी दे। आईने के जिस चेहरे पर बड़ा गुरूर था तुझे, आईने के जिस चेहरे पर बड़ा गुरूर था तुझे, आज उसी चेहरे पर नजर आ रहा है बड़ा सुरूर मुझे। बहुत दौड़ लिया, रेस भी जीत ली, अब सुकून से जरा चल भी ले, अपने आप को कहीं गुम हो जाने भी दे, और गुम हुई उस खुदी को शायद तू अब कहीं ढूंढ भी ले। रो भी लिया, नाराज भी हो लिया, अब जरा हंस भी ले, उम्र के तकाजे को अब छोड़ भी दे, उम्र के तकाजे को अब छोड़ भी दे, उम्र हो गई है मेरी जान, अब जरा जी भी ले। थैंक यू।